Hey, you. Yes, you. Before we start, subscribe. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Coder, and today I am once again complaining. That's not true. I'm not complaining. This is a video with a very positive topic. Something really cool is going on right now in Master Duel, and if you guys aren't aware, there's this mini event. They call it a Trial Duel that is currently going on, and the way Trial Duels normally function on Master Duel is they basically give you some kind of limit or regulation on what you can build your deck around, and if you win 3 games in that limit or regulation, you win a singular pack. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's a little bit silly. That's like dog shit in terms of pricing. But, however, you see there's something really big that is going on in conjunction with this trial event. Basically, the current trial event that's happening on Master Duel right now, the regulation that they're setting on this Trial Duel is the fact that the ban list being used for it is not the current ban list from Master Duel, it's actually the current TCG ban list. The first thing, obviously, that we're going to be talking about is the fact that this event doesn't have the card. Maxx C, let's freaking go. That card is banned in the TCG. It's legal in the OCG and in Master Duel. It's the first real event that we have that has like a standardized format that doesn't allow Maxx C. Most events either allow Maxx C, or when they don't allow Maxx C, it's in an event where you can only play with lights and darks and Maxx C's and Earth. So that's the only reason why you couldn't play it, not because the Master Duel devs chose not to include it in a format. So this is actually really big because it's giving a lot of people the opportunity to taste what it's like to be playing some real Yu-Gi-Oh! Without Maxx C involved. Obviously, this is still best of one, so take that with a little bit of a grain of salt. It's not necessarily like we're playing TCG format over on Master Duel, and there's also the inclusion that there are certain cards that are uncraftable in Master Duel, such as Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. That card is not craftable in the game, so even though it's legal in the TCG, it's not legal for this Trial Duel. The other thing is there are cards that have released in the TCG already that are not yet in Master Duel. In terms of those cards, we're not actually playing the current TCG format on Master Duel. However, we are playing some semblance of real-life Yu-Gi-Oh! Imported onto Master Duel, rather than what a lot of people have simply been calling like an imaginary ban list that exists exclusively for Master Duel. So obviously, the biggest card that is being talked about right now is Maxx C. And the reason why Maxx C is a very important card to talk about here is because OCG players have never really had the opportunity to play without Maxx C being legal in a format. And a lot of people that play in the TCG regularly were basically saying that, oh, Maxx C will never be banned in Master Duel because OCG players actually like Maxx C a lot. When I say OCG, I mean players in Japan, China, Korea, those territories. Those players apparently like Maxx C a lot, and because of that, Master Duel is catering more towards them, which I don't agree with. It's just a take that I've seen a lot of people have online, and I wanted to address that because it's actually a really interesting development that came from this. A user by the name of Dove Rinslet over on Reddit actually translated an entire thread, or the majority of the posts from a thread, posted on bbs.nga.cn, which is a Chinese website that basically holds forums, on which this forum people were discussing whether or not they like or don't like Maxx C after having played the new event that is currently live on Master Duel. So for the first time, we're really getting a little bit of an insight into the OCG players' mentality regarding Maxx C, specifically after having played in a format where it's not legal, despite the fact that they've been playing either paper Yu-Gi-Oh! In which it's been legal for years now, or even Master Duel, in which it's been legal for the last 2 years. And the reason why this card is such a big topic is because the last time that they updated Master Duel, we actually got a statistic that 95% of players are playing Maxx C in their deck. I don't have to explain why that's a little bit absurd, do I? So I'm going to go over a couple of the responses that this person got on the forum over on the Chinese website, and basically give you the rundown of how the OCG players that have been playing in this event feel about Maxx C after having done so. One user says, the OCG meta revolves around Maxx C. This is further amplified by Master Duel in Best of 1. I think it's not a good sign that 3 to 9 slots are mandatory because of Maxx C. If your argument is, how can I go second without Maxx C, then what is your game plan going second except for resolving Maxx C? And this is a very important argument. One of the big things that we hate about Maxx C over on the TCG side of things is that Maxx C actually limits design space in terms of how you want to build your deck. More often than not, if you want to build a deck, you don't even look at what cards you're playing yet. You slap in 3 Maxx C, 3 Ash, 2 Call By, 1 Crossout, and then boom, 9 of your like 40 to 60 cards are already decided, just because Maxx C is so powerful that you A, need to resolve your own Maxx C, and B, need to prevent your opponent's Maxx C from resolving. So this person's argument is very strong. What is your plan going second if you don't resolve Maxx C? Realistically speaking, these 9 slots could probably go towards either playing more hand traps, or they could go towards playing board breaker cards. Dark Ruler No More, Evenly Matched are definitely cards that players would want to be playing, if not for the fact that they already had to fill 9 slots in their deck with the Maxx C minigame. Another user says, Maxx C is insane. It trades 1 for 1 at worst. The worst feeling in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is when their Maxx C resolves and yours doesn't, which is true. We've all had that happen to us where we've activated Maxx C, our opponent had Ash Blossom, and we're like, oh, okay, that sucks. And then you activate your own Ash Blossom, and they called by the grave you, so you've now traded 2 cards for 2 cards. You're starting with a hand of 3 cards, drawing to a 4th, trying to break your opponent's board. And then at that point, you go, okay, I'll activate like emergency teleport. Your opponent goes, Maxx C, and even if you have Ash in hand, you can't activate it because it was resolved. It was negated by called by. Like at that point, it just sucks. Like it's just a bad feeling, and it just feels like the game was already determined by the Maxx C minigame before even getting to play the game. Now, before I read this next comment, after having read all of the comments, and I'll leave the link to this thread in the comments below, but after having read all the comments here, I'm noticing that a big trend that a lot of people are talking about is specifically Maxx C in relation to the ban list and how Maxx C's existence impacts the ban list. A lot of players in the OCG actually like Maxx C for one specific reason, and it's because they don't like the aggressive way that the TCG will ban cards. So for example, in the TCG, we'll oftentimes have these murder ban lists. We all know the ban list from After Toss format, where they essentially murdered Salamangreat, murdered Orcust, murdered Thunder Dragon, like murdered Sky Striker. They just destroyed all of the best decks in the game in that one ban list, and OCG players really don't like that. Specifically, what OCG players like is the kind of ban list that Master Duel has been implementing a lot recently, which is just, you know, semi-frequent ban lists that just hurt decks a little bit. They put a card from 3 to 2, they, you know, lower a little bit of consistency, lower a bit of the power, but they don't outright kill anything, which in fairness, I think is a good argument. I think it's very fair that a lot of players like that whatever deck they've invested time into is not at huge risk of just getting destroyed one day to the next. However, this commenter has a very good point in regards to that argument. He says, Maxx C existing allows for an excuse/reason to print cards that should never be printed in the first place. The reason the TCG bans more aggressively than the OCG is because Maxx C is allowing cards that shouldn't exist in the first place to be played in the game. And frankly, this argument is very, very true. In my opinion, there is one card that I think I have a large problem with myself that I don't think should be legal at all, and that card is Called by the Grave. In the TCG, we have Called by the Grave at 1. It's pretty much not being played a whole lot. It gets played in certain like very heavy combo decks, but most of the top tier meta decks in a lot of formats either don't play it at all, or, you know, sometimes one player or two will play it if they choose that to be one of their tech cards, but it's not a card that is mandatory to play in a singular copy in every single deck. A card like Called by the Grave either just trades 1 for 1 with a hand trap and lets you full combo through whatever singular disruption your opponent had, or it can even be set as a trap card and negate any form of graveyard effect your opponent might have. That card is genuinely absurd. However, in the OCG, they have 2 of it. In Master Duel, we have 2 of it, and I'll be honest, I don't think that card is very fair, and the only real reason why there's an argument to be made for why that card should be in the game is just because it stops Maxx C, and if you don't have a way to stop Maxx C, Maxx C is going to resolve every game, and whoever resolved it basically auto wins. A lot of players, specifically the ones in China here, seem to be in agreement that they feel like Maxx C isn't really good for the game. Now, obviously, this is not everyone. There's a lot of people that are arguing for Maxx C, but I think that the large majority of the comments that people are getting from these players in the OCG is that they actually dislike Maxx C. So that initial argument a lot of people have that Master Duel will never ban Maxx C specifically because the OCG players like it is not true. It's simply not a real argument because there are OCG players that are very, very clearly explaining that they don't like this card and they would like the card to be removed from the game. Now, I myself enjoyed this format a lot. Like playing in this event on Master Duel, I actually had a lot of fun It's so awesome to be able to play what feels like, you know, the closest equivalent we've ever had to a real format or a real life format in digital form without having to play on something like a simulator like YGO Pro or
Video Pro or Dev Pro, where all of the pros are dueling booker.
and they all suck. They all just suck. I don't want to play on any of them. I really don't. I want to play on Master Duel. Master Duel's so good. Master Duel is such a good platform. Just imagine if you had to practice for a YCS, and instead of having to practice on Dueling Book or practice on YGO Pro, you could boot up Master Duel and play Master Duel Ranked and play the current format and practice for a YCS. Wouldn't that be insane? That feels like a fever dream. I'm really hoping that the people that are currently playing in this event and are really having a fun time with it actually realize that this shouldn't just be a one and done thing, one-time event that's gone forever like NR was. NR format, fantastic format, by the way. I love that event. Bring it back. It was one of the first events of the game, and I want it back. I really, really want NR back. There are a lot of people that I think are coping, thinking that this is Konami's way of testing the waters to see if they want to release a TCG format. I don't think they made this event specifically because they were like, oh, if this is received very well, we'll make this a permanent thing. I don't know if they necessarily made this event with that idea in mind. However, I think we as a player base can absolutely put that idea in their minds if it wasn't already there in the first place. My suggestion, after every single event, Konami releases a survey where they ask the player base whether or not they enjoyed or didn't enjoy the event. When the survey goes live, it should be, you know, the top priority for everyone that would ever want Master Duel to potentially take on a TCG format or even an OCG format, or heck, even have split ladders. What if you could ranked ladder TCG format, ranked ladder OCG format? Why not? Why can't we have that? It would be amazing if we could. And I think that if you would ever want that to happen, even if you don't currently play Master Duel, you definitely should boot up Master Duel when that survey goes live and answer them and let them know that you enjoyed the event and that you want more of this, that you want this to be the future of Master Duel. Heck, there's a lot of players that play the TCG actively that don't even play Master Duel that much, that are out here spending UR dust, SR dust to craft cards that are at 1 or banned in Master Duel that are at 3 in the TCG because they want to play their TCG deck, and instead of playing just the 3 games to win the 1 pack, they're basically replacing their Master Duel like ranked experience with this event. They are specifically booting at Master Duel with the intent to play in this TCG event Trial Duel format in order to get that fix for TCG Yu-Gi-Oh! It's felt so good. It's been like a whole other experience being able to play this and play the deck that I play in real life and bring that to Master Duel and play it card for card the exact same and not have to worry about Maxx C. It's just a whole other feeling. It feels significantly more real, and now that we've had a taste of it, I think there's a very real possibility that we can actually have it and maintain that and tell Konami that we want this to be an actual format in the game. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think that they're testing this out and are actually going to potentially give us a TCG format? Or do you think, Coder, you're coping, this is a one and done thing, give it 3 days and it'll be gone forever and we've all got to forget about it? I really hope that's not the case, man. I really hope we can one day get TCG Yu-Gi-Oh! In Master Duel. I think it would be so awesome. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think we're going to be getting this, or am I just coping? Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. With that being said, thanks so much for watching. Appreciate you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace! Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe.
I'm watching you.